So Sacramento, out on a P day, once I went on Google Maps and mapped how far it was from corner to corner, and 10.5 miles. Now mind you, I was on a bike. It took a solid hour to get from one corner to the other. In fact, one time we had an appointment in the far corner and had to ride all the way up to the top corner for another appointment. Barely made it on time. That was a beast. And there's like no shoulder on the road to ride on. Well, small shoulder. The reason why I say that is El Dorado gets worse. But anyways, the Sacramento First Ward area was completely different from any of the other place that I had lived in before. Some people might call it the ghetto, which isn't really a kind word for it, but it paints a pretty good picture. Every house has a heavy metal screen door, and I use the word screen loosely because it's basically a hunk of sheet metal with hose poked through it, so you can see through it to whoever you're talking to, sort of. I hated those doors. Oddly enough, our apartment didn't have one, but the door that we did have was made out of metal. Also, all sorts of crime precautions that you have to take into consideration when you're serving in Sacramento. My bike was stolen. Not in that area, but my bike was stolen in Sacramento twice, actually. When I was in Sacramento, my first companion was Elder Seo Manatafa, who is Samoan, about 5'8", and built like an ox. He probably had 0% body fat, could lift a solid 400 pounds by himself. Whenever we went into the sketchy parts of town, he said, "Oda, it's okay, you're with me." And I mean, I didn't feel threatened anyways. The wonderful thing about serving as a missionary is I never felt threatened. I never felt in danger. Even when I was in the bad parts of town, I never felt like I was in danger. But even more so when I was with Elder Seo Manatafa, no one would mess with us ever while he's around. We rode bikes all the time. That's all we rode in Sac First Ward. It gave us a good workout. Nearly everyone has, well, depending on how much money you have as a citizen living in Sacramento, you'll either have a car or you'll have nothing at all. It seemed like there wasn't really any in between. So there was a lot of people walking around on the streets getting to where they need to go. And there was a good handful of people who had jobs that they commuted to, had cars, would get out of the house, get into the car, drive, be at work, come home, lock themselves inside their house and never want to talk to anyone. Which was kind of a problem for us missionaries because we talked to everyone. And occasionally we would get to talk to those kinds of people. But for the most part, the people who would listen to us are those who don't have a lot. They don't have a car, don't have a job, and so they're walking out and about, and it makes it easier for us to come in contact with them as well. There was one particular bridge. It was for a train that would go over that had the words, "If you can dream it, you can do it." I always loved riding under that bridge. Just made my day every time. Especially on the hard days. I'm like, I really hate biking right now. And then I would see that, I'm like, I can do this.